Okay, Nana. So good afternoon once again. So this is another video. This is friction number 5. This is fifth video in friction. So let me continue the same topic, but in this session we'll try to focus on a few applications. Application part. Let us discuss one by one. So 16th, I think friction number 5 only. Okay, fine. Friction number 5, fifth one. Previous one was friction number 4. I did not write. Let me consider an example of a chain. A chain. Let's say I have a chain. I have a chain like this. This is on the table. This is a chain. Let's say its total length is L, capital L. Total length of the chain is L. It is lying on the table. This is table. Okay, this is one of application. Okay. Application is like sliding of chain on a horizontal table. Let me write like this. Application is sliding of a chain on a horizontal table. Application is sliding of a chain on a horizontal table. What is capital I have taken? Capital I have taken as total length of the chain. Now what I will do is I will slowly pull the chain to a side like this. I will show you. I will slowly pull the chain to a side and some part of the chain is hanging. Let me take the hanging part as L, small l. Hanging part of the chain is small l. Total length what you have taken? Total length you have taken as capital L. Hanging part of the chain is L. So what is the part that is remaining on the table? Remaining on the table, that part is nothing but capital L minus small l. Is it not? Because total length I have considered the length of the chain as L. In that small l part is hanging this time. So when small l part is hanging, so remaining part L minus L must be lying on the table. Right? Question is, what must be the hanging part of the chain? What should be the value of hanging part of the chain in terms of total length? So that this chain is not further falling down. Right? ఇంకా పడట్లేదు మనం, ఇంకా కిందకి పడట్లేదు. ఇంకా కొంచెం నేను ఇంకా లాగితే అది కిందకి వస్తుంది, కింద పడిపోతుంది. ఇంకొంచెం లాగితే కింద పడుతుంది, కానీ కింద పడట్లేదు. అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంది? నౌ దిస్ ఈజ్ an equilibrium. This is the condition where you can see an equilibrium condition. Right? Let's see what we can study about this. So enta part migilindana? Okay, for this total length of chain L, let me take its mass as capital M. What is M? Capital M is total mass of the chain. M is, okay, let me write here. Okay, what is capital? Okay, let me write here like this. Capital L is total length of chain. That is good. Okay. Capital M is total mass of chain. Total mass of chain. Right. if I consider small m as mass of hanging part, small m as mass of hanging part, anyways I don't want to write mg further. So here as this is in equilibrium condition, ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది, ఇక్కడ మనకి వెయిట్ యాక్ట్ చేస్తుంది, వెయిట్ here weight will act mg, and here limiting friction will act. Why? Because it is just about to slide down. If I pull it further, it will slide down. So limiting friction will act. Limiting friction will come into picture under equilibrium condition, right? So I am now consider, let me consider these two as two parts. Let me consider these two as two parts, right? So let me take the hanging part mass as m2, hanging part mass as m2, and the part which is lying on the table, I will consider this as m1. I will consider this as m1. అంటే ఓవరాల్ గా వాట్ ఐ మీన్ టు సే ఇస్ క్యాపిటల్ M is nothing but m1 plus m. Capital M is total mass of the chain, which is equal to m1 which is hanging on the which is lying on the table, and m2 which is hanging from the table. So this m1 plus m2 gives total mass m, right? So for L minus L length, for L minus L length, what is the value of L? See, I can write like this. Question I can write like this. Okay, let me write how much length of the chain, how much length of the chain, or how much long the chain should be, or how much long the chain should be, so that chain cannot slide down. Chain cannot slide down. ఎంత పొడవు ఉండాలి కిందికి హ్యాంగ్ అవ్వాలి, how much part that should be hanging from the table so that it should not slide down, chain cannot slide down. This is important question. Right? Now what is the corresponding length? For total mass, total length is L. M1 is the mass for which length? M1 corresponds to L minus L. M2 mass is the mass corresponding to hanging length. For which length? For small l. Antena? M1 corresponds to L minus L length, M2 corresponds to L length. Right? So I can write like this in this way. Total mass by total length is equal to M1 upon L minus L. Corresponding ga rastunnada. Total mass ki total length L aithe, M1 mass ki L minus L length aithe, M2 mass ki L length avute. This is this scenario. Is it not? Right? I'm sorry. Here is this. Okay. So from this I can write M1 is equal to, M1 I want. M1 is equal to M by L, M, okay, I am using these two. I am writing the value of M1. M1 is equal to M by L into L minus L. Can I write like this? I am just multiplying this L, I am taking this L minus L towards left side. So what I can write is, for M1 I can write M by L into L minus L. Right? What is small l? Small l is the length of the chain that hangs. Let me write small l also. What is small l? Small l is length of the chain that hangs from the table. Hangs from the table. Hangs from the table. Okay. Now if you, okay, let me draw the diagram again so that you can understand. So here part of chain is lying on the table and some part is hanging. So what is that hanging part that I have taken? Small l I have taken, and here I have taken capital L minus L, which is lying on the table. Right? Here frictional force will be acting in this direction, FL, limiting frictional force. Here you have, this is what is M2G you have taken, right? Okay. Now what I got the value of M1 as M by L into L minus L. This is one case. And also I can equate these two. M by L is equal to M2 by L. Is it not? So what is L of M2 if I equate these two? If I equate these two, what I will get? If I equate these two, M2 is equal to M by L into L. Is it not? This is the value of M2. This is the value of M2. M2 is equal to M by L into L. Now, I want the value of small. I have decided. I am interested. My interest is to find out the value of hanging part of length. How much part of length of chain is hanging from the table, so that it is not able to slide down the table. So that it cannot slide down the table. I want the value of small. Okay. Now what is the value of frictional force? Limiting frictional force. This must be equal to weight of hanging chain. Weight of hanging chain, because this is under equilibrium. E force రెండు ఈక్వల్ ఉంటేనే కదా అది నెట్ ఫోర్స్ జీరో అయింది. బికాస్ అండర్ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం ఐ కెన్ రైట్ లైక్ దిస్. సి అండర్ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం this limiting frictional force must be equal to the weight of the hanging part of the chain. Weight of the hanging part of chain. Hanging part of chain. That is nothing but M2G, is it not? So let me erase these parts. Okay, let me erase these parts. This portion. Now tell me, FL, limiting frictional force, is equal to weight of hanging part of the chain is what? M2G. FL is equal to M2 into G. But what is L of M2? M2 is equal to M by L into small l. So therefore, I can write limiting frictional force is equal to M by L into G. M by L into G. But this limiting frictional force is nothing but mu s into N. Limiting frictional force, I can write this one as mu s into N is equal to M by L into G, since we know the formula for limiting friction as mu s into L. Now, which part is lying on the table? The part of length L minus L is lying on the table. Its weight is M1G. Is it not? This weight is M1G because I have taken some part. M2 part is hanging from the table and M1 part is lying on the table. So M1G is the weight of the chain which is acting vertically downwards. This is lying part. So this should be balanced by what? This should be balanced by normal force. This should be balanced by normal force. So in place of normal force, can I write m1g? Yes, I can write normal force as m1g. So in place of normal force, if I did m1g, then what I will get? Therefore, mu s into, in place of normal force, m1g, because normal force is balanced by m1g for the lying part, for the part lying on the table. m1g is equal to m by l into g. Is it not? Now can I cancel g? Can I cancel g? Now what is remaining? And what is the value of m1? m1 we got some value. If you remember, m1 we got as m by l into l minus l. This is the value of m1 we got, right? So in place of m1, let me substitute the value of m1 as this one. So therefore, mu s into, in place of m1 I can write m by l into l minus l. G anyways it got cancelled. Here I will get m by l into l. Now is there any term that is going to be getting cancelled? Yeah, m by l gets cancelled. Now what is remaining? Mu s into l minus l is equal to small l. But what is my intention? My intention is to find out small l, length. What is the hanging part of the chain? So let me rearrange the terms and let me write the value of l as, if I rearrange the terms from this, what I can write is, let me write the same equation again. Mu s into l minus l is equal to l. I am writing the same equation here. Right? Now what I will get? I can write mu s into l minus mu s into small l is equal to l. Take this towards right side, so that mu s into l is equal to l plus mu s into l. From this, mu s into l is equal to, I can take l as common, so 1 plus mu s into small. From this, my interest is to find out small l. So l is equal to mu s into capital L by 1 plus mu s. This is the formula for hanging part of length L, so that the chain cannot slide down further. Minimum length that should hang from the table is equal to mu s into capital upon 1 plus mu s, in order to make the chain under equilibrium, or in order not to fall from the table. This should be the minimum length that should hang from the table. Or sometimes, what fraction of length must hang from the table so that chain cannot fall down from the, or cannot slide down from the table? What fraction? Fraction in the sense, how much part is hanging divided by total length. Total length is what? Capital. So from this, what I can write is, therefore, what fraction? Fraction of length. Fraction of length, small l by capital. From this, what is the value of small l by capital? Small l by capital is nothing but mu s upon 1 plus mu s. Fraction of length that must hang so as the chain not to slide down the table. This is the formula to be noted. So maximum length that can be hung is, maximum length that can be hung from the table is small l is equal to mu s into capital by 1 plus mu s. Remember the formula. Therefore I can write like this, maximum length that can be hung from the table, maximum length that can be hung from the table so as for it not to slide down is small l is equal to mu s into L by 1 plus mu s. Okay, so this is one important application. Let me go to another application. Distance traveled by a body before coming to rest. Another application. Application number 2. Distance traveled by a body. Let me write. Distance traveled by a body before coming to rest. Distance traveled by a body before coming to rest means what? Initially the block is moving with velocity u, and finally after traveling a distance s, its velocity has become 0. It means it has come to rest. Block has come to rest. This is the case, this is the scenario that what we are going to discuss now. Right? Let me write this again. Application number 2 here. Application number 2. Application number 2 is distance traveled by a body before coming to rest on a horizontal surface. This is on a horizontal surface that we are discussing. This is on a horizontal surface. Okay. Before coming to rest on a horizontal surface. Let's say I have a block of mass m initially moving with a velocity u. Let's say initially it is moving with a velocity u is equal to v anukundam. Let us say u is equal to v or u is equal to u anukundam. If you want, you can use u only. Don't worry. U is equal to u, and it has traveled a distance s. After traveling a distance s, it has come to rest. How many bodies are there? Only one body. The same body has come after traveling a distance s. Because velocity entarana, velocity is 0. Final velocity is 0. Now when the block is moving towards right direction, the frictional force should act opposite in direction to the direction of relative motion between the surfaces in contact. So relative motion, always try to remember, you have to say relative motion. Frictional force it like this, Fk. Now this is Fk. Why? Because the block is in motion. Now how the weight of the block will act? Weight of the block will be acting vertically downwards, and the normal force, this is normal force. Let me write here this one as m. Right? So u is equal to u, v is equal to v. Frictional force is the only force that is acting. Right? Now can I write like this? As we know that frictional force is equal to mu k into n. But n is balanced by what? Normal force is balanced by mg. So which implies Fk is equal to mu k into mg. right? So block is moving towards right direction. So this frictional force, so it has an acceleration A. I can write like this: ma is equal to mu k into mg. There is only one force which is acting in the opposite direction. There is no external force at all. So due to frictional force, it is accelerating. Of course, I can say that the block is decelerating. Deceleration. I am considering here this one as deceleration because friction is acting in the opposite direction, right? So mass into deceleration, gives mu k into m. So I can cancel m. From this I will get A is equal to, or let me put like this. Better, I will use the sign, negative sign, so that you can understand much better. This negative sign indicates that frictional force is acting opposite in direction to the direction of acceleration. Right, so minus ma is equal to mu k into mg. Mm gets cancelled, so I will get A value as minus mu k into g. This negative sign indicates that the body or block is getting decelerated. The block is getting decelerated. The block is getting decelerated or retarded. You can say retarded. Retarding motion. Right? A is equal to minus mu k g I got. This negative sign indicates that the block is getting retarded or decelerated. But what I want? Distance I want. Distance traveled by a body. So how to find distance? If you remember the equations of motion which we are studying right from straight line motion, is it not? So where you have come across one equation of motion, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Let me use this. So using v square minus u square is equal to 2as, what we get is v is what? V is 0 minus u only, so u square is equal to 2 into a value. How much I got? Minus mu k into g into s. Okay, from this finally minus u square is equal to minus 2 mu k gs. Minus gets cancelled. I want the value of s. So s is equal to u square upon 2 mu k into g. Remember the formula for displacement. Distance travelled by a block along the horizontal surface before it comes to rest. S is equal to u square by 2 mu kg. S is equal to u square by 2 mu kg. Remember the formulas. Final result you have to remember. Guttvettukondi and try this one. Otherwise you can derive, not an issue. Okay. Now one more I want from this application. In what time it is going to stop? Just now I have calculated what is the distance. In what time it is going to stop? In what time the block is going to stop? Okay. Question is, now in the same application, in what time the block comes to rest? In what time the block comes to rest? And the time of rest at 0 gram, and velocity is 0 gram. So which equation is best suitable in terms of time? We know that v is equal to u plus at. I will use this equation. So as it is coming to rest, final velocity is 0 is equal to initial velocity that I have taken as u only, but a value how much I got? A value I got as minus mu k into g. Remember, Just now we have got the value of u. So u minus mu k into g into t. From this, if I bring this towards left side, mu k g t is equal to u. From this, value of t is equal to u by mu k into g. So in what time the block will come to rest means answer is in a time of u by mu k into g. It will come to rest. Block will come to rest. Right? So try to remember these formulas. కొన్ని బుక్స్లో v అని ఇస్తున్నాడు. v అని ఇస్తే మీనింగ్ ఏంది? ఇక్కడ ఇది ఇనీషియల్ వెలాసిటీనే v లాగా తీసుకుంటున్నాడు. ఒక్కొక్కసారి బుక్స్లో u ప్లేస్లో v ఇవ్వచ్చు. దట్ v ఇండికేట్స్ దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఫైనల్ వెలాసిటీ. దట్ ఇనీషియల్ వెలాసిటీ ఈస్ టేకెన్ యాజ్ v. He has taken the symbol for initial velocity as v. But here I have taken u only. Fine? Right. So this is another case. This is another case, another application. Here we will discuss two special cases. If this is a truck, assume that this is a truck. A block of mass m is lying on the floor of the truck, and a person, observer, is watching. Here this is an observer. Observer is on the truck and truck is accelerating. So the observer in the truck itself is in which frame? He is said to be in accelerating frame of reference, or you can say non-inertial frame of reference. Is it not? Non-inertial frame of reference, right? Observer is in accelerating, or I can say non-inertial frame of reference. Right? Here we consider two cases. Those two cases are like this. Block does not slide down when the truck is moving in the rightward direction or towards right side. Block is still at rest. Block does not slide. And second case, what we'll discuss is if block slides down, then what happens? If block slides down, then what happens? These two cases we'll discuss. So let's discuss case 1. Let me show you the free ball diagram of this block. What are the forces that are acting on the block? Let me draw the free ball diagram on this block of mass m. If at all, if the block slides, in which direction it should slide? Because this is in accelerating frame of reference, or I can say non-inertial frame of reference, there should be a false force, fake force or pseudo force that should act in the opposite direction, ma. This ma here I'll show you. This is the value of ma. This force is called as pseudo force. Pseudo force helps the block to move in the leftward direction as the truck is moving towards right side. Right? So when the block is moving towards left side, then the frictional force that should act between these two surfaces in contact must be, let me write Fl, limiting friction, because block is just about to slide. Maximum, it reached maximum value of static friction. This is called as maximum value of static friction. How the weight of the block will act? Mg will be acting vertically upwards and normal force will be acting, Mg will be acting vertically downwards and normal force will be acting opposite in direction to the weight of the block. Now here we will discuss case 1. Case 1. What is case 1? Case 1 is for this diagram. Okay, let me write here. Case 1. Block does not slide. Block does not slide. Block does not slide when? If, what is the condition? If this MA is less than FL. MA is less than FL. Otherwise, is it not? MA is less than FL. Block does not slide if MA is less than limiting frictional force. Does not slide if MA is less than limiting frictional force. It will not slide down, right? That means you know the formula for limiting frictional force. Limiting frictional force, MA is less than, limiting frictional force is nothing but mu s into n. Since limiting frictional force is equal to mu s into n. Is it not? Now, n is balanced by what? N is balanced by mg. Therefore, what should be the condition? Let me write here. Let me show you this here. So, MA is less than mu s into mg. M gets cancelled. So, which implies acceleration must be less than mu s into g. This is the case. This is the case when block does not slide. This is the case when block does not slide. Right? So this is in accelerating frame of reference, or I can say non-inertial frame of reference according to the observer. Observer is sitting in the truck. Fine. Now let me show you the second case. If block slides back, if the block slides back in this direction, if the block slides back, case 2, let me write case 2. Case 2 is block slides back. Back in the sense it is moving towards left side. If block slides back, what is the condition? If MA must be greater than, MA must be greater than, MA must be greater than limiting frictional force. Slides annaga, I can take this as kinetic friction now, because as it is sliding, I can take it as sliding, kinetic friction. Instead of limiting friction, I can also take kinetic friction, because block is sliding. Okay. Anyways, so MA is greater than FL. What is the value of now? What is the value of net force? Net force must be equal to what? MA minus FL. MA minus FL. Net force is equal to MA minus FL. MA minus FL. But FL, as you know very well, it's nothing but mu s into mg, is it not? So F net is equal to MA minus mu s into n, but n is balanced by mg, so I can write MA minus, it's better, okay, let me write this one as MA net. This is net acceleration, MA minus mu s into n is balanced by what? mg. Now I can cancel m in all the three terms. So what I am getting as net acceleration, I am getting as A minus mu s into g. A net is equal to A minus mu s into g. This is the value of net acceleration. Right? Important. Remember. So this is what is the value of net acceleration of the body or block. Net acceleration of the block. Right. Now, in the diagram, okay, let me pause and right. So I have drawn the diagram again. You can notice the diagram, same diagram, but anyways I have drawn in the above. So here person is there, person is in accelerating frame of reference, observer is in accelerating frame of reference. Now I want, if L is the distance travelled by the block towards left side, in what time it will fall down if it travels a distance of length L. if L is the distance traveled by the block, if L is the distance, because when the truck is moving towards right side, if pseudo force Ma is greater than frictional force, here frictional force will act, is it not? Just now we have found out the net force, right? If pseudo force is greater than this frictional force, then the net force what I got is this much, and net acceleration also I got. So using this relation, net acceleration, if the distance traveled by the block is L, in what time it will fall down, right? So let me consider. So I have a distance here, I have acceleration also, so let me use this term. So S is equal to distance is equal to length L, distance is equal to L, that is nothing but what? Distance traveled by the block. Initially block is at rest, right? In what time it has to fall down? So initially block is at rest. So what I can take the value of U? U is equal to 0 because block is initially at rest. So S is equal to L, U is equal to 0. What is the value of A net we got just now? I think A net we got as A minus mu s into G. Is it not? A net is equal to A minus mu s into G. This is value of net acceleration I got. So time I want. So in which equation of motion you have displacement, velocity, initial velocity, acceleration and time? So let me use that equation. So using S is equal to ut plus half at square, I can write L is equal to U is 0 plus half into A is what? A is nothing but a net acceleration, A minus mu s into G into t square, right? So from this, if I solve for time, L is equal to simply half into A minus mu s into G into t square. Find out the value of t. T is equal to 2L by A minus mu s into G under root. This is the value of time you get. Right? In what time it will fall down from the truck means this should be the answer. It is traveling a distance of length L, so 2L by acceleration. 2L by net acceleration, A minus mu s into G. Fine? This is another one. Right? Let me make another video tomorrow. Let me try to complete. Let me wind up the class for today because I need to upload. It is taking hell lot of time. Right? So fine. Anyways, thank you all. Let me upload these two videos. Bye bye. Take care.